I believe there are 2 more weeks before you actually hit some of that playoff scene. So it's a little bit dangerous, a little bit scary. So we hope to see what they can throw down here. We are getting into draft as soon as possible. And right now, to start things off, it is going to be at Flannel Esports, the cow farmers, right now on that blue side to start. And at the current moment, blue side actually has a lot of options. I recently cast a little bit of an event where blue side seem to have a lot of advantages depending on your champion pool and output. Things like the Tristana, things like that Corki mid are very, very prevalent. Even in the bot side, if you start hammering in on that Jinx, or in the top side, we start to see Camille's come to priority. Orin's still a staple in the top lane, and then in the jungle, you get a plethora of whatever you want to play. At this point, there's so many little pieces of the puzzle that you get to decide, but of course, the players are ready. And instead of some of those priorities, we can see some of the uniqueness. Xerath has to be banned away, which I very, very much appreciate. Infamous, I think, has a player that just rocks it, and honestly, I love it because Xerath is one of my homeboys. On the other side, though, the Ashe and Zyra, this kind of makes sense. Ashe is a premier ADC right now. Zyra currently being able to be played inside of that jungle, very good clear speed and great AP energy outside of something like a Karthus, so I like it. The Nocturne finally still targeted at that jungle, so both kind of taking shots on either end. Final bans here is another jungle ban. I think that's appropriate. Take away some of those power picks. I wouldn't be surprised to see a jungle ban sent back the same way, but no, it is focusing on that Tristana, which does leave the Corki open if you wish to pick it up. Granted, there are some options that you can run against the Corki, and Rumble is really not one of them, but that is going possibly to that solo lane. Go ahead and run it up. Say, hey, let's see what we can get. And it's a great all around, I think, top lane pick if it is being sent there, though, so we'll see what happens. Falling a little bit further down in the ADC tier list is going to be that Varus hover, which again to me is quite surprising. I personally still outside of the Ashe love the Jinx. It puts a lot of priority on that bot lane, and you can put out a lot of firepower, but this is why you have that set up in the bot lane. You go ahead and lock in that Wukong. Now for the cow farmers, you're sitting there going, okay, how do we deal with this? We have the Rumble. You could go for the J4, get that cooking pot going. The Chinese hot pot, as I like to call it. Very, very fun combo. Of course, in their own right, I don't know if you want to run a J4. J4 is, you know, decent in the current meta. Not great, but still does the job that you need it to. There's that Corki that we talked about. I'm amazed it wasn't nabbed up early on, but I think in this current scenario, you do have to lay it down. And with this, if you want to, you go for Yordle comp as well. Yordles aren't bad. Listen, I love the Yordles myself. You can see in the top corner there. Ha! Vigar sitting there. Leona, though, this is what I did want to see. If you're running an immobile ADC, that's going to be difficult. And there's a sneaky Kog'Maw coming out here. I really, really like this. It's spicy, it's dangerous, and it can cause a problem. I want to say that is mid lane AP Kog'Maw. That's going to outrange the Corki, basically free fire at level 6. That is one way you temper a Corki farming. Tahm Kench, though, you have to take it away. You don't want to give that one over, I think, in the top lane. So the Rumble might be flexed into that jungle role right now. Very, very understandable. In the same vein, though, you know right now for the cow farmers, hey, we have Leona. We don't want to let the Braum through. If you're really, really scared, I wouldn't be upset at a Morgana ban as well, but I don't think you have to. Morgana is somewhat out of style, I would say. Mid lane Morgana is a thing, though, but you already have the Corki, you already have the Kog'Maw and that Varus, so, you know, kind of round it out in your own way, if you will. The last ban there, Infamous, there's the Ornn that I mentioned. If you are running in the top lane, you don't want to let that one through. It's just a great, safe blind pick, and it just denies everything else. I like the Renata Glask. I don't always know if it matches well. I think it matches well with the Varus if you're planning to send the Varus down bot lane, but you know, I understand that. Matching, though, I like this call. You bring out the Relic and match the Leona. It can also provide a lot of CC chains with that Magnustorm and keep the Rumble and the Corki in the same spot. So, you know, go ahead and say, chill out a little bit. Right now, though, cow farmers are looking for a possible top lane jungle flex as well as their true ADC. Unless the Corki is aimed towards that bottom lane, I've seen some people try it. It doesn't do as well, I would say. It's decent, but not great. I still prefer in the mid lane. That's why we're seeing that Kai'Sa come out here. Kai'Sa able to dive to the back line, especially with double squishies in the Varus and the Kog'Maw. Chill. Go ahead and fly hard. But you swap at the last second and you bait me so hard, because right now that is going to be the Xayah. And the Xayah Leona combo is so weird to me because if you lock in the Xayah, you are saying safety. You are saying, hey, I'm going to play safe because level 6 hits, I can stay away. The Leona wants to go in though. The Leona wants to dive in and fight your line. So, you know, if you want to run it, that's great. You'll have that set up. We are still looking for one final pick, and it's going to be the Malphite. Rumble in the jungle, Malphite in the top lane. And there's a lot of options you could grab here. Infamous have their pick of the litter. I mean, Mordekaiser has been on the rise as well. Very, very nice little pieces of the puzzle. And you can actually shut down that Malphite and also steal away the Malphite. Deny that that unstoppable force straight to the middle. Just say, no. We're good. We don't want to deal with that. Another AP solid piece is going to be that Gwen. I love Gwen so much. Dueling potential is out there, especially if you run the Ignite teleport. You pretty much dominate lane as long as you know the trade patterns and as long as you can get that Malphite a little bit under control. Maybe even be able to 1v2 if you play it appropriately and keep a lot of that HP alive. So right now, Infamous showing their stuff. I actually really like that. I love kind of the individuality that they brought to the table. I mean, the Kog'Maw really there for that range poke. You go ahead, send it from the mid lane, and you have that kind of mage assault going in the far ends, and then you have that 4-man combo, or the 3-man, I would actually say, the Varus, the Wukong, and the Rel, and then you have the Gwen for that side lane pressure. So many pieces for Infamous. We're seeing why they enjoy this. It's not a cohesive team fight composition. It is just straight up, we will most likely win lane, and we're going to go off of that. For the side of the cow farmers, it's a little bit of a grind. You're taking a look at your carries and your solo lane, I want to say, identifiers of the Xayah and the Corki. It does bottleneck your damage output a little bit, because if you do not get your Rumble ahead, he will not be able to put out a whole lot of damage, and it's not reliable. If you don't have some sort of hard CC, such as the Malphite or anything in the Leona, the equalizer doesn't bring down as much damage as you would usually assume. So I want to make sure we see a lot of cow farmers engages come together, whether it be proactive or reactive. We need to see them answer together. We need to see them move as a unit to shut this down. The problem, if they're picked apart in the laning phase, I'm very scared they're not going to be able to get off the ground. The Malphite will fall behind. All of a sudden, your reactionary ults are just to deter opponents, and you don't get much value out of it. If the Rumble, if Quintic is not able to really fire away, if you are set behind, all of a sudden there's no AP. You can build just straight armor and things like that. If Chaotic can't farm up and have an impact towards that mid game, the Corki's just on the wayside. So many little pieces to the puzzle. I am leaning into Infamous's favor. And that also takes into a fact that if they win here, they're pretty much a solid lock into the playoffs. There is no doubt in my mind that they already are looking at a pretty solid seat, but they want first place as well. So for right now, we are going to go to a very short break and get ready for the match. In the meantime, though, I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to ProComps. We should go ahead and take a look of what they've got to offer to you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Quick shout out to ProComps, our sponsor and a game changer app for the league community. This isn't just like the other tools. It's your personal draft coach, perfect for both teams and solo players. In fact, you can pair it with any other app you use. ProComps stands out with features like custom champion pools, personalized tier lists, and live draft advice. Think of it as having a virtual coach and a strategy toolkit all in one. They offer real-time champion ban recommendations. They already have over 200,000 downloads and thousands of daily users just like you. ProComps is user-friendly and totally free. It is a no-brainer to at least give it a go. Download ProComps now and you'll experience a whole new level of drafting power in your league games. Go to procomps.gg, download it from Overwolf, or click the panel below on our stream. Quick shout out to ProComps, our sponsor and a game changer app for the league community.
And we are live, ready to go for game number 1. Once again, Flannel Esports Cow Farmers going up against Infamous. Cow Farmers need a victory if they want to keep themselves in a pretty strong standing moving into the latter 2 weeks of the season. If they're able to make it work, they will pop off. On the other side, Infamous, they're just looking to hone in another victory. If they can, that'll be a dub. Right now, of course, we are getting just a pretty nice little setup here. You can go ahead and just posture up in a 5-point, nothing too crazy, and you know, you just kind of keep yourself safe. If you get a little bit crazy though, I mean, honestly, either side can do some damage. If you're looking at the Xayah and the Corki, you can put out a decent amount, but honestly, I think every lane kind of wants just a safe start. No one wants to get set behind. I mean, Batman in the top side is like, yo, maybe I can, but at the current moment, you're just chilling. No big deal. Rigor Mortis, though, might step up a little bit and is actually going to eat a harpoon here. And that's actually a big deal. Take a look at how much damage there is. That first strike does a decent chunk. And remember, I was about to point out, Wukong didn't start pots, which means there's actually going to be a little bit of a problem. Rigor Mortis has to go back and eat that chunk, which may or may not mean a slight earlier recall. I mean, I think might be looking at maybe like a 5 to 10 second earlier, just depending on how quickly you can clear and how safe you feel. Because if you feel like Quintic is gonna roam in and try and bully you at your blue buff, that can be a real issue that you might run into. See how it goes, of course. So, you know, little pieces of that puzzle, but Chaotic, of course, laying down a lot of pain that, you know, a Corki can output here. Of course, a Kagumon doesn't really become a champion until level 6, until you become that living artillery, quite literally in the name. Until then, you're just trying to throw down the poke. Already burning through those pots, though, at level 1 hurts so much for a Corki, for a Kagumon. You're just sitting there going, okay, how am I going to make this work? If I land my abilities, that's great. You can see you have a lot of mana in the pocket. You just don't like to have that happen. In the bot side, we're going ahead and seeing Veer and Seeker set themselves up to a really solid pace. Chaotic eating so much more damage. Right now, it's also relatively safe. Because of no vision, though, both junglers did opt to start at a full clear, and neither side had full information. However, inside of this mid lane is actually going to be a problem, as Chaotic doesn't realize the gank's coming out here, and all of a sudden you had the flash, but there was no dash used. Rigor Mortis gets a free kill. That's just a free first blood and a half right there. Chaotic, you cheated a little bit too close to the sun, and your helicopter got brought down. Well played overall, and Charlie goes ahead and bites back. That also means Rigor Mortis, for what it is, even if you recall now, if you recall a little earlier, you're pretty happy. You're not too worried. Not only that, Veer and Seeker have to be a little bit careful here, because a Rebuttal can come into the bot side. They do have a ward, so it's going to be seen, but the catch potential of Neotank is still pretty large. I would say you go ahead and throw down the Zenith Blade. If you hit either Seeker or Veer, you can draw them into a fight long enough for Quintic to get close. That's going to be the main question, though. Of course, Quintic takes a little bit of a different route, went straight through the Tri-Brush ward, so Veer and Seeker are more than well and safe. Right now, I'm kind of curious. If you're taking a look at this game, my big question mark is how quickly are you going to explode? Because either side, I mean, you don't have to do too much. Charlie, of course, is just going to eat the damage. But I mean, both teams come online at level 6, and that's when the main chunk of the CC comes through. I mean, if you were looking for some early game, Leono in the bot side would have been it. But Ravens, man, doesn't want to get crazy. You want to hit level 6 and just be able to fight later. So, you know, relatively quiet early game for what it is. The nice part, though, Cow Farmers did light up that bottom lane pretty heavily with wards. I'm going to be very surprised that you don't look for an early dragon. But of course, you can't really do that without taking care of Veer and Seeker, because both of them have been shoved in pretty heavily, which is now showing in the CS discrepancy. If you take a look at that difference about a wave to wave and wave and some change down there. So it makes sense that you can't, but I mean, the vision is there to really keep Ravensman and Neotank safe. Top side, though, this is the other side, and I've avoided talking about it a little bit because I just feel it's going to happen. Batman is going to be able to farm up very heavily. I mean, 2.5 waves are going to be ahead. Conjured Raven is quite literally just up here to try and maintain for the rest of the team. It's supposed to be a safe pick. You're supposed to hit level 6 and be able to link up with the rest of your team, bring down that unstoppable force, and then win from there. You are not meant to win this laning phase, and if for some reason you win the laning phase, it would be a wild conundrum that I'd be like, Batman messed up somewhere. That's what I would think. For right now though, in the mid lane, once again Chaotic eating up damage, and I love the tags and the focus that they're throwing down here. This is the other side of it. Chaotic needs time to farm up, needs to have a good laning phase. This is why you picked this combo. You can get the slows down and you get the harass. Everything you do is going to be solid. Right now, though, on the top side, level 6 is being hit, and we are seeing that Needle will go through, but Conjure Raven isn't going to worry. You go ahead and flash away on that top side. Inside the jungle, the junglers do meet, and they are going to have to play it safe as well. In the bot side, though, another engagement is coming out. Seeker watches Neotank try and jump forward, but because Raven's man is actually quite low, I don't think you actually want to stay. Featherstorm is going to be available. Quintic is trying to come in, and they're going to try and follow through, but a nice little root and stun means Neotank is going to be able to fall. Misses Xenoblade, but in comes this fight. Rigor Mortis can't get the kill at all. It's a kill back, and now Seeker jumps in a little bit too far. You have flash and you're out, but I don't know what was going on there. That's going to be a stun. Quintic is going to try and go under the tower. Only eats one tower shot, so Seeker is safe. But what in the world? Rigor Mortis thought you could bully your way to a bot lane kill and instead pays the price. That was a pretty hefty over exaggeration. It was one that was unnecessary. You were there and you could have staved off the fight, but because you handed a kill back over, and thankfully for Infamous it went to Neotank, you're not too worried. However, that's a flash forward. I'm Charlie takes the kill in the mid lane, and I mean, Chaotic, you didn't have flash from earlier. That's Rigor Mortis's ganks coming into play. Overall, we're seeing these advantages start to be collected in those solo lanes. Not only that, Rigor Mortis is able to pick up the grubs. Dragon is still on the table. I mean, it's Chemtech. You don't really have to worry about it. You go ahead and grab those extra grubs. If you can grab all, if you're able to grab 4 and even 6 all the way through, having Voidlings, 6-stack Voidlings for a Gwen, for a Varus, and for a Wukong, that is going to be disgusting. For right now, though, I mean, we're just watching Chaotic. Every time I'm watching the minimap now, I'm just like, is Chaotic going to get ganked again? That's all I'm thinking right now. Is Chaotic going to get ganked again? And if so, at what time? Batman, though, on the top side, eating up a chunk of damage here, as that was a Merc Treads early for Conjured Raven. Like, it's... You're not taking it for the... You're definitely not taking it for the tenacity. It really is just that MR that you need early, which hurts a lot, unfortunately. You're gonna try and play it safe. Seeker, of course, looking for a chance to fight here. No stun to come out, and Raven's man already hitting that level 6 said, I got Featherstorm up. You're not gonna really be able to do anything to me. I'm gonna be more than safe. And overall, the posturing Infamous are slowing this down a little bit. You can see inside the jungle room, Mortis is just waiting for an opportunity to clear out the farm. Maybe look towards that dragon, get the snowball rolling, and gather all global objectives. On the other side, though, you can see Pings. Quintic has yet to really make a major appearance. I would say one of their own device. And so far, it's trying to ping out that bottom lane. Once you clear out the red buff and the Raptors, then you may look down there. Of course, at the current moment, both junglers will meet up, which is going to be a very, very dangerous scenario. Quintic, though, said, yo, I don't even have to worry. I'm going to look at the mid lane. There's going to be that ghost, and we were mentioning before, me and my producer were sitting there going, hey, is this actually a good pick with the ghost? And sometimes it's just good to have as an extra escape, and sometimes you can reposition like this. Now Quintic is in a bad spot as the final artillery comes down, and I am Charlie said, yo, that ghost is perfect. I get right around the river, I regroup with my jungler, and I get the kill on the top side. Conjured Raven has to step away from the needlework. The constant pressure applied in the mid lane is working so well from Infamous, because you get the kill, you kill out Quintic. Quintic isn't there to contest this dragon, and bot lane's winning out hard. Veer and Seeker, every time they are in lane, they are pushing. Raven's man and Neotank have been stuck under tower for a significant chunk of time. However, this might change, as that's going to be Veer. Cleanse and Flash to try and stay alive, but you're burning down pretty dang quickly, and the Ignite might take him down. It is. Neotank is going to get that kill. Dragon is taken away, but it will cost 2 in the bot lane. And that's huge, as Raven's man is able to grab 1 for the own and finally get some breathing room. So far, so good for the side of cow farmers. They're slowly farming up. They're getting kills. It's just kills aren't going exactly where you want. Neo tank, I mean, can get tanky. You'll have your warmogs a little bit faster than expected. It still hurts that you've had a couple kill opportunities that Ravens man just has not been able to collect. But right now, though, we're still waiting to see what happens, because right now there are a lot of snowballing effects here. The dragon so far has been optimal. I mean, Cloud maybe not so much, but being able to grab that first +3 grubs now means it's actually on Quintic to try and deny these 3 on the top side. Here's the problem. Once again, your laners are not in a good position. You're Malphite 0-0-0, yes, but you've allowed Batman to farm up a 20 CS lead, already has Riftmaker in pocket. So you're going to be sustained up pretty dang well in that top lane. Not just that, you look at the mid lane. Charlie already completing that Archangel staff. Doesn't really have to worry about much. You can affect the lane, or you can affect those grubs quite literally from mid lane. I think River Brush on the top side. You're going to be fine. At this point, it's just a difficult play for Quintic, and I don't even think you want to chance it. There is zero vision for cow farmers, and if they decide to step up, it will be certain death. At this point, you have to concede. You will not have this available to you. You are losing out on the global objectives. At this point, you just need to find some kills and start trying to push your way back, or else this game will spiral out of control even faster. I mean, this is one way to do it. I like it. Veer has no summoner spells. You pretty much secure that kill. And honestly, Veer doesn't have much to their name, so I don't think it's a bad thing. No. It is a bad thing, I should say. It's not the worst thing that could happen. Plates are going over to Ravens, man, but you only lost 1, and Seeker is here to deny probably that 3rd plate as well. I think you're going to be pretty happy about this one. You got the grubs. Now you can almost lay focus into that top side if you wish, because Batman can start gaining a much larger lead, and that would also allow Batman to roam out from the top lane if you break that tower a little bit quicker. However, that's up to their own devices. This is going to be a step up, though. Batman goes ahead and gets the scissors down. Good Shroud to come up here. Confident Raven is going to have to settle on this one. You are getting sliced up, and that's another dash forward. Massive needlework, but Raven stacking up that MR very early means you are okay. You're still fairly low health, though, so I don't know how much longer you can stay underneath this tower. Of course, Rigor Mortis didn't go over the wall. Because of that, you don't get a gank off, and you just have to sit there going, okay, this is where I'm stuck at. Is this actually going to be a dive, though? I'd actually be very surprised if Rigor Mortis opts into it. And the reason for that is, again, the wave is not in a good prep state. But because that is going to be Ravensman walking into the fight, you get this. A Flash Magnustorm means another knockup and another stun under the tower, though. You went a little bit too far thanks to the piercing arrow. You're good, but Seekers is going to fall. That's a 2-piece going over to the bot lane of Cal Farmers as they are farming up a storm without even putting in the work. For all that it's worth, it has been the Cow Farmers bottom lane show, as Batman is also taking a lot of damage. That's 2 tower shots. You're going to be able to stay alive, but what a disaster hitting that bot lane. Rigor Mortis, that is now the 2nd time that you have attempted to tower dive and failed for it. Honestly, not sure what happened there. However, even though you are losing kills and feeding Ravens, man, like no other, you're doing okay. You're still up a decent amount of gold, and of course, primarily that is in Batman, who I'm pretty sure has, I want to say, a good 300-400 lead over the lane opponent. At this point, it might be 1,000. Yeah, okay, so I was way off. I was off by about 500. I was like, those itemization looks to be at about 1,000. And Batman's chilling. Right now, though, that's the needle work, and it's going to be a little bit rough as you miss the 2nd swing. You miss the 3rd, and this is a chance. Raven, if you can get a couple auto attacks down, you can win. That's a fly forward. One more. No! That is the stone plating to keep Batman alive. It came up just in time. Oh, the orphan sings another tune, but Quintic is ready to shut them down and complete the trifecta. That was a terrible joke. I don't think I'll ever make it again, but Batman is out. That's going to be a huge equalizer, though, and you get that kill. A fight on the bot lane happens once more, as Seeker is nowhere to be found. A stun against the wall means that Seeker is going to live for just a tad longer, but that's going to be fed over to Chaotic. You are now finding a Seeker yourself, and Veer has to run away. Disaster is striking as the lanes are slowly spiraling out of control. Bot lane is in full control of Cow Farmers. Mid lane may have something else to say, as Charlie, after the initial 2-0-1, hasn't really found extra. And Batman got killed. I believe the shutdown was 150 and Quintic was able to pick it up. The Snatch Dragon is going to be a little bit spicy. Right now with that prep, I love that Cow Farmers are there earlier, and it's a cloud. I mean, you don't have to take it, and I think giving it up is more than fair. It's this next one that's going to be the question, and oh, it's a boring one. It's mountain, nothing crazy. Granted, having that would actually work to lessen the blow of a lot of the bursts, so, you know, if you grab it, you grab it. Either way, I don't think it's going to be a cause for outright aggression. At this point, it is just going to be a little bit of that safety, and if you wish to grab the objective after getting some kills, you can. Really, I'm just waiting for Batman to really pop off, and then after that, I want to see if the response is Raven's Man to be able to dive in this bottom lane. However, Batman able to take the tower very quickly. You can see that shred. Raven has to try and run away, but you're slowed by the needlework once again. Unstoppable Force has to be used to try and stay safe, but in the meantime, we see the fight on the other side. Quintic once again maintaining an advantage for his bottom lane, who are now the sole win condition. Wouldn't say sole, I apologize, because Chaotic still has an opportunity to scale up. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a little bit of time because Chaotic has not had any real fun. You can see there the poke coming out of Charlie. The trades are just working in their favor. This will help though. Chaotic now allowed to go down to the bottom side in the rotate. You can now shift your bot lane to mid, and that's where the major fights are going. However, Batman is starting to become that split push monster. You are granted the Rift Herald. You can look to break down that top lane, especially if Conjured Raven has to walk all the way to a team fight because you used that TP earlier, and now your top side's already down. You are not going to be as effective as you so wish as a Malphite. That TP is your golden ticket into a lot of the fights. The fact that Batman and Rigor Mortis were able to force that flash out or the TP in an attempt to try and stay in farm aspect and XP, Conjured Raven has actually had a fairly rough loss here, so we'll see how well that plays out if you're able to actually utilize the Malphite in the upcoming team fights without losing ground to Batman. That'll be the big ticket here. For right now though, it's just a little bit of quiet space. You're just trying to clear out some wards. I mean, Dragon's up in about 250, which isn't anything too special. Again, it's a mountain. Like, I'm sorry to any mountain lovers out there. I don't see the joy in it. Batman though is like, yo, I don't need mountain to do really good work. However, with that rough timing, the shroud is down and you don't have much else, but you are healing up a decent amount. If you can get another Q down, you might be able to do some work, and you get pretty dang close. However, you still fall really nicely timed by Conjured Raven and Quintic. You're going to survive, and now a solar flare into the mid lane. No way. Did they catch Charlie? Yes, they did. Over the wall doesn't work as you're going to try and run. Featherstorm goes up, and a final arrow pierces. No Featherstorm to recall in the right position, so Rigor Mortis gets a free kill. Now Neotank has to run for their life, but the Cyclone is going to keep you in disarray. In comes Chaotic, but you stun yourself up. Chain of Corruption comes out and not going to land. Just a little bit of safe trading. However, 1-2 situation for the side of Cow Farmers leaves them in a nice spot. They have now caught up in the gold. It is the 500 gold lead has been decimated, and Conjured Raven is able to pick up this tower. You can swing the gold ever so slightly into your favor. I'm just a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared about how long it's going to take for this squad to really start utilizing that Malphite and looking for those 2 to 3 man wombo combos paired with that Rumble. You need to lay down that damage and start breaking in even more towers, because eventually Batman is just going to be a menace. You already have 2 items deep. You have that Gnasher's Tooth in the back pocket. These are the things that you got to be a little bit scared of. So we'll see how it breaks down, if it continues, or we're going to see side of the Cow Farmers really light things up. Remember, for them, they're looking for a dominant 2-0 or a 2-1. They just want to change that series score to a positive number. I mean, for right now, you're playing it safe. Dragon is up in a minute. Nothing too crazy about that one, but the warding this time is all in favor of Infamous. You can take a look. Heavy warded straight through the mid lane brushes. Bottom side has a little bit of a tri-bush pink ward as well, which Chaotic should clear out here in a little bit. Yep, gonna walk right over and be more than okay. So it is going to draw a few battle lines. Now, the difference on the other side is Neotink is able to cover on this pink ward, but take a look. Ravensman is actually caught out here, and that's going to be the danger. You're on a ward that you didn't clear, and you don't have Featherstorm either. Cleanse is going to do anything for knockups, and that might be the catch. Seeker with the Magnustorm is going to hold true, but Raven TP's right into the middle of the fight, and I don't think that's where you want to be. Veer is able to fire away, but the equalizer actually slowed them down, but it stuns out on Seeker. Seeker has to run. Quintic is in a little bit of a rough spot, but your team's there to back you up. But this is what I was talking about. Take a look on the other side of the map right now. Batman is just hard pushing. You didn't have to win the fight. You just need to stay alive long enough to bait the rest of Cal Farmers. Infamous get a second charge off of the Herald. You now break down the majority share of the top side, and now you can now push for that dragon. This split macro game play by the side of Infamous is showing why they are so dominant, why they are so strong. You take apart your opponent. Batman, if you die here, it doesn't matter. You have done your job valiantly, you have done your job well, and you almost did it to near perfection, as Ravensman is literally 100 HP away from death. Overall, I mean, kill wise, I can't sit here and say Cal Farmers were grabbing them proactively. It did feel like Rigor Mortis handed quite a few over to the side of Ravensman, who is strong. Two items and then the cloak in hand, but it still feels like Infamous are very much in control. The kills don't really matter, especially considering they have Batman to shove just about anywhere, who is willing to sacrifice a life. I wouldn't be upset if we just see Batman run straight to the bottom lane and just hard push that lane now. You don't even care if the team loses Baron. You just hard push, because you also know that if the Baron is attempted now by Cal Farmers, it's not going to go well. Like, their damage output is not as quick as you would assume. Yes, Ravensman can chunk it, but Chaotic is only sitting on an item and a half. You don't have that completed, the upgraded Manami, and you just have this little base. This is just a little bit rough, and I mean, I want to see the timer ticked up. Remember, for the side of Cal Farmers, I want to see them actually group up as a team. I want to see them work well as a squad. Their entire composition pretty much screams team fight, with Ravensman kind of peeling for themselves. I need to see this team fight actually come together, because right now they're winning in just straight head-to-head fights and kill count. But in macro game, they are losing out so heavily, and it's causing indecision in the team. We'll see how it plays out, though. Right now, a little bit of jockeying for position. We are into about minute 23, which is where the death timers are starting to get long. Single fight can cause a very large loss of base control. This call out, I mean, this is a lot in their bucket, by the way. Take a look at how hard they're positioning, and they haven't cleared out the inside wards either. They finally do. A little bit of wasted time, not the worst time to lose, but still kind of feels rough that you were denied a like a fast play with no vision. Instead, you now have to go into damage control. How are you going to do this? Quintic, though, gets stunned up, and that might be the catch here. Good flash away, but look at the snipes. One more artillery shot is going to do it, but Veer gets it with the arrow, and what a dodge! The side steps are too good, and Raven loses their ult, and the backline is a massive needlework as it sliced all the way through. The seamstress denies any extra HP. The collapse by Infamous makes it all as they go ahead and look for the ace. It is so clean, it is decisive, none are lost, and they claim their rightful Baron. That was so clean. And I mentioned that if we see reactionary come out of Cal Farmers, it will be difficult. You have go buttons, you have the unstoppable force, you have the equalizer. All of these need to be used in tandem in a proactive fashion to be able to win. But when the opponent is pushing, it is reactionary. It is obvious. I want to point out one person in particular, Rigor Mortis and Charlie. They knew the Malphite ult was coming, and you watched him just casually sidestep. They still have summoners. They didn't even get knocked up. They weren't worried. It was just too clean. And right now, Infamous have everything in their pocket. It is only 12 to 11 kills, but the gold lead speaks to so much more. 6.5k in favor of this Infamous squad. It is a disgusting gold lead to have. This resulted in 3 items completed. No, not again. Not again, Quintic. Not again. It happens one more time. And they're going to look for a dangerous side on the top. It is Batman to go ahead and falter Solar Flare just to seal it. And you know what? You get some revenge. The shutdown goes well and handed to Chaotic. But you're still going to lose that on the bot side. Veer going to go ahead and power down this tower. And Dragon is still about 20 seconds away, which is going to give time for Quintic to be alive. This is just a little bit... wee bit questionable. They need to call a hard fight. And the reason I say questionable is I don't know if they can fight Dragon. I honestly don't know if Cow Farmers can fight Dragon. You don't have to, I don't think. It is only going to be Soul Point. It's not Soul itself. But you are getting just hard poked out of this lane. Veer, though, does eat a massive rocket to the backside, so that might be the damage profile that you're kind of looking for. Conjured Raven is ready to go. And Batman isn't in a good position to teleport in. I mean, you have to run the entire length of the field, so... I mean, where are you actually going to go? Look at the backside, though. Keep eyes on Quintic. Quintic is looking for an option to make their way. And, of course, with the Scryers taken away, it's going to be good. But that's going to be the equalizer. You found Veer in a decent amount of chunk, but no one else is ready to follow up because Contra Raven doesn't have it. Because of that, the kite is too good. The fire range is online. And that's going to be Rigor Mortis to go straight to the back line. It is pure damage output. And no one has fallen. Finally, Neotech gets someone. But now you are shredded where you stand. The kite ability, the fishing net, the Infamous laid down, caught everyone and then some. Conjured Raven is the only one alive, but you're going to lose your base and then some. Batman said, I spot in, I take mid. After that, we look for the top side inhibitor, and there is nothing you're going to be able to say about it. This has been a somewhat masterclass of how to play the macro game when you have strong laners. Not exactly a masterclass in how to play jungle ganks in the early stages, but you know, that's off on the side. We don't have to worry about that. You have gotten triple inhibitor off of this one fight in the bot side that you yourselves knew you were going to win. Just too clean. At this point, if I see Cow Farmers fight for this dragon, I'm actually going to be very surprised. You do not have that option right now. It is Soul Point. You shouldn't look at it. At this point, you are looking and watching for Batman to scarily TP into your base. So you have to play close. You have to play close to the chest. It's just a problem that you're currently sitting on. And I honestly don't see a way back in. I mean, you take a look down Infamous's lanes and everything that they have is online. 3, 4, and 1 on the Gwen. You have 3.5 items. You already have the Seeker's Arm Guard. You're now in a much safer route than you had before. Wukong, Sundered Sky, as well as Triforce and Black Cleaver. You are going to shred 1 or 2 members in Seeker who have found so many good engages, has just put everyone on the side of Cow Farmers at risk. You can see here, Chaotic doesn't even want to touch that lane, just playing it super safe. And for Infamous is just going to walk in 2 lanes of traffic. Topside can, you know, it'll push on its own, of course, but you have this bot lane that Batman has prepped, and there's going to be one more chance at a team fight. Quintic is going to give it their best, but Conjure Raven this time does have the unstoppable force. Keep that in mind. That's going to be chased forward. Seeker, no stun to go down. You got to pull the trigger somewhere. You got to find that option. Charlie just free firing in the back line with this blue buff. I mean, you have no worries. Chaotic is going to get stunned up, but that's going to be the flash in. A little bit of slow, and the equalizer goes down, but the damage is not going to be enough. Charlie is going to survive, but no, that's the catch on the back. But look at the raw output. Rigor Mortis was able to solo everyone else out, which allows allowed the rest of Infamous to wipe the side of cow farmers. The cows are cooked. The farmers are out at the market. No one is there to defend the house. The base is gone. Nexus down. Game 1 to the side of Infamous as they continue their undefeated game streak. Free 30 minutes by about 6 seconds. It took a little bit of time, which in my opinion would have been better. It would have been a little bit faster if Rigor Mortis was actually able to pull off the ganks, but granted, those were a misnomer. You used Batman to a very strong extent. You were able to push in on that top side, take 2 towers, draw so much pressure, and it allowed the rest of Ravensman and Neotank to be able to free fire from the backside. Keep in mind, this was, or not Ravensman and Quintic, I'm so sorry, Rigor Mortis and Veer and Charlie to be able to output. In terms of damage scaling, Batman had 28.09 thousand. And then Charlie was at 25,000 and Veer came online with 18,000. This was all around very, very well played, and I'm excited to see even more. Infamous so far has shown me quite a bit of action. They show me a lot of good gumption, and there's a reason that they're standing at the top. Let's see if they can close it out 2-0. I know some people were predicting a 2-1 and you know, saying, hey, cow farmers can pull something off, and it looked like it. It looked like it. However, the composition did fall apart a little bit. The Corki never really got online, and at this point, we know why. Infamous never decided to pick up that Corki first round. They said, hey, we have an answer, and it's going to be perfect. So let's see if it happens again, or are we going to see cow farmers decide for that red side for themselves and look at the counter picks? Only time will tell, so don't go anywhere. The Aegis Defenders League will continue here in just a bit. And we are right back into a game number 2, ready and waiting as the team said, okay, we had some mess ups, we had some good moments, let's run it back once again. This is going to be the likes of this squad. Cal Farmers, my brain didn't want to work there, are still looking for a dub. However, they're already partway through drafts, and I mean, they're flying through those bans. You can go ahead and take a look at the Xerath, the Nocturne, and the Wukong this time around, been away. They are still running that Rumble as much as possible because I don't think Quintic really lost out too much. It's just you need a little better roll. Right now, though, we are looking over at the side of Rigor Mortis, who I want to see what they're going to bring out here. The Wukong earlier on had a lot of rough points, but really that was just their own device, went a little bit too far. So this time around, I assume Rigor Mortis will be a little bit more tempered in how they want to fight. However, the Tristana, the Zyra, and the Ashe all still target ban, which is understandable. At this point, though, the Lee Sin, I really like this call. It is a champion that is still well known at the dive potential. It does what I would even consider a better Wukong impression. That's like the OG dive, get away with the damage, and somehow live. It's in all the highlight reels. So I love the fact that we're seeing it here. Rigor Mortis is not going to be anything of the sort. A preemptive Kog'Maw pickup, though. This is going to be a bit spicy. If this is Charlie saying Kog'Maw is the new meta and you don't have anything on the other side to answer, that's a pretty bold statement. There's a reason we don't see Kog'Maw as often anymore, but if it's coming back in the meta, I think it's going to be super strong. I'm sure there are some people playing it right now. I feel like there are some other options. If you want to go a little bit of a straight mage, you can. I like this call from Cal Farmers. You go ahead and steal away that Varus, or no, you go ahead and bait me 100% by going the Ezreal instead. So pure safety. It feels like you go ahead and do the little jump and you hope that Lee Sin can't hit you. If you go in the Ezreal, I assume a little bit of safety, but if you still want to go for the engage, I mean, Leona is up, Nautilus is available, Thresh is available. Right now, you're looking at Neotank, who did play an okay Leona, just wasn't really given the opportunity to go forward. But this is going to be that Tom Kench pickup. This was banned away in game number 1 against Neotank, so this is going to be a really safe measure. What you're looking at, though, you have to pick, is it going to be ADC or is it going to be support that you grab? I would assume an ADC or top lane. The Gwen worked quite well, but just, I don't want to see it right now. This is a little bit too obvious. You're showing your hand a little bit too much. The Gwen worked immaculately because it was against a Malphite. So this might be a toss-up against Raven saying, listen, you don't got anything against it. I just played against you. It didn't look great. So the Malphite just didn't hold up. I'm going to cut you through you like paper mache. I like the tar cover. That is definitely a little bit of a say so. It is a full ban coming out here, so you know, take away that cheesy pick, right? Because my brain, I forgot Tom Kench going to the top side. Conjured Raven, I believe, has a decent amount of games on a Tom Kench top, so don't want to get that one. In the same vein, though, you go ahead and the Targ just denied away. That is one that I have always enjoyed, but just not I don't know, it feels very unique still in the current frame. Kai'Sa being hovered on the ban, and I like this. If it is fully banned, that is a solid understanding, because Ezreal loves to get away. Kai'Sa is one of the few ADCs that can stick, and there is that Leona ban. Huge shout out to Neotank, who was able to make Charlie's life a little bit difficult. There were points where, you know, it's just Leona doing Leona things is the best way to put it. There's a Varus hover and the full ban out. Cal Farmers say you will not get that ADC in the bot lane, and I would assume you pick your support here just to figure out which ADC you do want to run. You obviously know this is going to be Cal Farmers just kind of locking in their solo lane, or their sorry, not ADC, mid and support at this point. So, you know, I would hazard a guess that you go ahead and, okay, so you actually opt for the Jhin, and the only reason I say I'm a little bit scared about this is I feel like you have a fairly nice open-ended option of what ADC you do wish to run. So because you don't know which support is coming out, unless you are predicting that Neotank is just going to go for kind of that basic on-put, I'm just a little bit surprised, unless it's going to be, yeah. So this is what I was kind of scared of. I wanted the ADC left to the wayside, and to that way you don't see something like this. The Blitzcrank makes sense to you. You grab that Jhin, you lock him down, and all of a sudden it's a free target kill. You can also do it to a Kog'Maw, which now means Charlie in the mid lane is going to be in a little bit of a dangerous spot. So That's why I was kind of worried. I'm wondering if you do just go engage again for Seeker. Seeker did very well on the rail, being able to disrupt a lot of the fights, dissuade some of those engagements. There's going to be the Victor matching range for range, so Kog'Maw might not get as much freedom. The lasers, I think, outrange the Void Bile that Kog'Maw has for the E, or matches range, I do believe. So a little bit of a skill matchup there. But I think Victor is a good one. You go ahead and farm up. You can also try and keep yourself safe from the Lee Sin with that stasis field. It just has a little bit of extra buffer zone. And there's the rel once again. Seeker, I like this call. You go ahead and throw down. I'm just a little bit worried considering this series for cow farmers. You kind of have to send it. You are in a 1-1 predicament. In a 2-2 game score, you do not have any buffer games inside of that combat. So if you tie with anyone in 4th and 5th and you don't have the games to kind of win out on the side, on that tie side, it's a problem. So right now you need this dub. You need to get the victory, and this is kind of throwing everything at the wall to see if it sticks. I like it though. You go ahead and go the Blitzcrank. If it works, you pop off. You suddenly get that Jhin, that Kog'Maw they are taken away. And on the top lane, this one's going to be a big space. Because Conjured Raven in the previous game wasn't really given an option of playing something comfortable. The Malphite was just like, anytime anyone picks Malphite, by the way, unless it's against a full AD composition or anything, I always treat it as a safe pick. You basically pick it saying, I'm not going to win lane. I'm going to look to influence the rest of the lanes towards the mid game once I have my ultimate, once I'm able to join up with the rest of the team. It is by no means a 1v1 champion. If you're 1v1ing with like PTA or something like that, you're wild for that, number one. Don't ever do that to me because I will probably rage quit. The Tahm Kench is a special though of Conjured Raven. Loves playing it, has a pretty good win record on it, and so go ahead, lock that in. And now you're looking to actually try and bully trade against a Gwen. Now, is it going to work? I'm not so sure. Quite honestly, Batman looked fairly dang strong on the Gwen, and this is why you kind of blind picked it. Or didn't blind pick it because Tahm Kench was obviously there. So you say, hey, I can go ahead and run this. The Tahm Kench is going to be that skill situation. You need to make sure you dodge out on the scissors. You need to have a much better trading pattern. I want to see how well this is going to go and match with the Rumble, because post level 6, you get the Devour, you set up for that equalizer, and all of a sudden you get a free kill. So many little pockets of awesomeness that can come out here. But of course, that does lean on cow farmer's individual skill. I am looking at that bottom lane as well. Ravens man and Neo Tank, previous game, pretty much shoved under tower 80% of the time. And yet there wasn't really a response from Quintic until we saw the likes of Rigor Mortis head down there. That was when we started to see that explosive, hey, we got to fight. We got to find something. We got to look to try and pick apart the opponent. And the fact that Rigor Mortis was able to diverge into the mid lane a lot and still visit the bot lane to die twice and give kills over without falling behind, very, very impressive. So this time around, we'll see how they play out. Of course, right now, though, we are going to go to a short break. Make sure we're good to go for the game and hope that this is going to be just 2 of 3 games that go down. If you're a cow farmer fan, go ahead and lay down the predictions, see what you get. Or if you're an Infamous fan, go ahead and bet on them as well. We'll see in the points prediction who comes out on top. Right now, we'll go to a short break and get ready for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 on the board. We are looking at Cow Farmers kind of going for an all or nothing gamble here. A Blitzcrank support coming out here. And you know what that means. Number 1, you're going to win or die by the Blitzcrank. Number 2, you're going to invade. If you don't invade with the Blitzcrank, you're not playing the champion right. So I want to see this invade happen. There we go. Neotank is going to step up. We better see just a jump forward and just hard rush someone. There are the pings going down though. You are spotted out. You are being told that, hey, we are here. Oh, flash for it. Neo flash for it. Oh, wink. You didn't flash. Okay, to be fair, you probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, taking a look at this start here again, I'm very interested about this bot lane. Number 1, because you are assuming that Ravensman is once again playing a little bit of a safer ADC, characterized by, you know, the arcane shift that you have. It's the same value as a Xayah. You're able to stay approximately far away to keep yourself in relative safety. Granted, you can E forward as well. You can output a lot of damage, and Ezreal is considered a premier ADC right now. I think the top in the current ADC scores. So it does make sense. However, Veer and Seeker had a pretty strong time being the main aggressors here in the bottom lane. So that's what I'm really going to be watching for. Are Ravensman and Neotank going to be shoved under tower once again? Are you going to be forced to be that way? And granted, if you are, that does actually work in a Blitzcrank's favor. You get the opportunity to, you know, kind of just straight up throw out a hook, see if you get a kit. Because as soon as you hit that hook, if it's under tower, it's an automatic flash. You're going to burn that flash one way or another. Of course, in that same understanding, right now we are seeing a shift in the junglers. They are opting to go a little bit different routes. It is going to be Rigor Mortis clearing out their top side, camp by camp. For Quintic, he is starting on the bot side instead, which is a little bit different considering I think it was because you were solo clearing. No, you're solo clearing anyway on the top side in game 1. So, you know, that might have been because you also don't feel like you're gonna get invaded, so makes sense there. But right now though, you're playing it a little bit safe. This time a much deeper ward though by Batman, very deep. And now you get that call out of, hey, listen, they're not there at blue. If they wish to fight, they can. Charlie though getting a massive advantage in the HP department. Chaotic right now, even on the Corki, looked a little bit rough, and you're able to trade back, you know, 1 or 2 punches. But Charlie is doing so well at keeping this lane shoved in with low HP, because that's one of the big things that Charlie I wasn't able to talk about before. As the trading in the mid lane was so heavy, and Rigor Mortis was there in a flash. In a 1v1 scenario, if you are pushing this tower, if you're pushing in the tower as often as Charlie is, you need to make sure that you have an HP advantage as well to deter the possibility of a gank. That's one of the big parts about this, and especially since Quintic is running that rumble, you don't have to be worried about a hard CC chain that you're not allowed to throw spells back. Charlie at this point is already forcing Chaotic to sit at under 500 HP. That is a wild number to have. You are forced to play super safe or recall, and Chaotic is willing to step back up and say, I want to try and farm up again, which honestly I think just hurts their timings. I know you want the CS, but I don't think you're allowed to stay here. Now you're zoned off of XP as well, and that's going to be a problem. Take a look at where Quintic is going though. You are now going to try and wrap around the entirety of the other side. You drop a ward, nothing's seen, but both junglers are now meeting in the mid lane. It is understood that things are looking a little bit dire, but that's the thing. Take a look, Quintic can't gank. That is a problem that Chaotic now has to deal with, and this could easily mean a tower dive. Rigor Mortis taking a look at that flank option, spotted on the ward though. This is seen, so Chaotic is going to cheat to the top side of this map, which is understandable. Are they still going to look for the dive though? That is my big question mark. He's going to walk out, jumps forward, gets the hook, or gets the kick, doesn't get the final blow though. I think Chaotic got the shield off, got the Q shield off just in time, was able to keep themselves safe. But now you lose lane so much, it doesn't matter that Rigor Mortis didn't get the kill. You have effectively shoved Chaotic so far out of the lane. That is a 20 CS lead that had to be picked up on the other side. And you're actively running back to lane. I get it, don't get me wrong, because you're going to go ahead, try and farm up the wave, and then recall for your lost chapter, I think is what you're going to do, or for the tier. No, you're not building tier. You already got the tome, so, you know, to each their own. Still though, this puts Chaotic in a really rough spot, and I know I'm talking about a lot, but losing mid lane control when you have a Rumble that is hoping to get in on the lanes, and also when you're trying to kind of keep Rigor Mortis down, who on this Lee Sin loves to be able to roam through that mid lane, it's going to be a big playmaker, I think, for the rest of the team. Right now on the top side, Batman is also looking to try and trade out against Conjured Raven, who this time around still sticking within a wave of the Gwen. I don't think this is a bad situation, because remember last time on the Malphite, you weren't even able to trade. You were losing a little bit of tower damage each time. Yeah, within 100 each. This is going to be the challenge though, as on the bot side we're seeing a pretty hefty fight here. Seeker actually flashing away and saying I can't be here because Quintic joined in on the bot side. That is going to be the power that Neotank has, and happily so, because Ravens man is able to feel a lot better about the current standing. That's a final shot though. I didn't think it was going to kill Charlie. Remember, each living artillery ramps up in damage as you go. Free firing, I think that was a third upgraded. Wild shot to finish it off, and Chaotic loses out. Now you have to burn that TP, but you still don't get that last shot. You're still stuck at just 2 amp tomes. Charlie's about to run away with this. This mid lane Kog'Maw is about to smack everyone on the map, and that hurts to see. Crazy stats right now. That is, Charlie single-handedly took over that mid lane, and it's not going to change because Quintic's not going to have too many options. I like this call though. You go ahead, gather up those grubs for yourself. I mean, Rigor Mortis is taking Dragon, so they're both going to be on the same timer. You know, it's problematic, to say the least. Like, this is not a situation that cow farmers really want to be in, and the composition doesn't help either. Like, where's the go button for the squad? You look down the entire line, the only go button really is Neotank, and that go button is very one-dimensional. It is a, I'm going to step forward, I'm going to hook, and if we get the hook, we fight. Charlie, though, is going to use that ghost to try and sidestep, and it does very well. Again, the brain is hard. The repositioning that the ghost gives is pretty good. Ravens man though, stuck in a little bit of rough position, does have that arcane ship. I don't think he's gonna be able to get over the wall, and you're not. Seeker takes that kill away, and it feels so bad because Ravens man had flash and barrier, but you just got CC locked into oblivion. Is it gonna be another kill though? Is this another kill? You get hooked under the tower. Rigor Mortis might be able to trade the life. No, you're just dead. This is going to be the curtain call, though. Dodge 1, dodge 2. No, you get hit. Third shot is flashed away from, and there's the final shot. It misses, so Neotank is safe. Wild fights, though. This is going to be the Chaotic, and again, Rigor Mortis just trying to get something on the board. You know you're winning a majority share of the lanes. You're like, yeah, I'll take this fight. It didn't pan out this time. Not the worst thing in the world, though. Veer is still fairly strong, and your mid lane's still kicking a lot of butt. So at this point, it's on cow farmers. Where are you going to get a lead? At this current moment, Conjured Raven sitting up on the top side. You're keeping even in CS. You're doing pretty well there. You're going to be up there for a while. Like, neither Gwen or Tom Kench is really going to go anywhere from here on out. Big question, of course, is in that mid lane, can Chaotic bounce back? You are looking at a 30 CS deficit. You actually had to dip into the Null Magic Mantle, which delays your build even more. That hurts. Your Victor's going to be doing no damage later. It's going to be one time where Victor lays down damage. So that's the Chaos Storm, and then that's it. As it's currently sitting though, we're kind of just sitting there opting and wondering how this fight is going to play out and where the next engagement is really going to come from, as Batman goes ahead and burns that ghost. Raven tried to go for the knockup. Nothing else really to play for. But really, I'm just, again, these little pieces of the puzzle are just so interesting to me. At the current moment, Neotank needs to be unlocked to roam around and help Quintic with these ganks. But on the other hand, you take a look at the line of Infamous, they just do not care. They're more than willing to play out the laning phase in a safe fashion. because they have the range, because they have the ability to free fire from so far away. I mean, Charlie racking up that damage already has two components for that Leandres, or both components for the Leandres, and you're already building into that tier. You're going to be more than okay to just kind of sit back, free fire, look for the extra damage, and then just let your team follow up behind it. Infamous don't have to force anything. If they do force it, actually end up like rigor mortis on the bot side. You end up losing your life, and it's just all right, let's not do that again. So right now we want to see both teams look to try and make plays. I mean, Dragon in a minute and a half, and vision control is currently for the side of Cal Farmers on the bot side, but it's only a thin line. You take a look, it is the blue line across the bottom of the wards. You can see the double pink wards, which may or may not be cleared out a little bit later, but the top side is actually warded out with the reds. You take a look, it is 2 wards along majority share, and it's actually pinged out. So Quintic's like, yo, we got to clear that ward. Either way, I don't think Dragon is going to be on the radar for this squad. It is not a mountain, I believe is, I'm going to guess it's going to be Hextech, because right now Charlie needs a little bit of Hextech soul to stay alive. You're not going to get it though, as you are pulled in for the fight. Chaos Storm goes down, and a flash under the towers. Chaotic is going to get some help, a lot of help actually, to get that kill. Now on the top side, we're seeing a little bit of a dance here. Conjured Raven looking to get punted back into the team, and now you're going to try and dive. However, the chase is too good. You do have flash available, so you might be able to bring something out, but not a chance in the world. Rigor Mortis gets that kill. Now you're gonna go ahead and chase for those grubs. Batman's like, all right, go ahead and take it. I'm gonna get a little extra wave, and now join to help. These little bits of the puzzle are starting to fall into place here. As yes, you dope for the mid lane, but Cal Farmers realize that they're fighting the mid, drew aggro to the top side, and once again, Batman is in a role to carry if you so wish. Of course, it was only an assist, so it's not too close to an encapsulation. Honestly, it's really that mid lane still that's crazy. Neotank, do it to him. Neotank, run at him. Yeah, chase off the 3rd shot, or the 4th shot. Via's like, okay, I probably can't do that. Still though, Dragon is up. It is a Hextech, I guess, right? Holy moly, I got it right. That is I don't think I ever saw the icon, so I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. That is going to be a Hextech Dragon to play for. It is not a soul, so it's not that great, but Rigor Mortis realizes he can't even play for the soul. You are locked. You are stunned and locked out. That was a beautiful ultimate from Neotank to deny the jump away. Oh, what a good play. There is no ward hop this time around, and Dragon goes the way of the Cal Farmers. I was not expecting that. Neotank is starting to make moves. All 3 kills so far have been in their pocket one way or another. Now Charlie might get rooted up here. He is able to step away. Ocean to play for though. Ooh, this is good. The reason I say that is if the soul goes away of Infamous, they now have infinite mana. That is going to be huge for Charlie. Topside Batman is going to be fighting a lot. That's a flash, so that's going to be the stun. It's a play in the mid lane as Neotank says, yo, let's fight. The party is on. The kick doesn't land though, as the Kog'Maw passive will burn away one more. The Cosmic Explosion, it is horrendous. Poor Kog'Maw, by the way. Still a kill back though, so you're more than happy. And again, the annoyance of a Kog'Maw is starting to be strangleholded a little bit. This is the, I mean, this is what I kind of expected with the Blitzcrank, and I'm glad we're seeing it now. I was hoping for it a little bit earlier. I want to see, you know, level 3, level 4, the roams and just the silliness, but you know, post level 6 is also good. Right now though, you can still see the gold lead, at least very shyly in favor of Infamous, and I think that's still that rampant gold deficits in certain areas. Of course, inside of the jungle, we're seeing a 3-camp lead, or 2-camp lead at this point for Quintic, who will hit that final mark, looking for that Herald as well. You know, little bits of the puzzle there. There you go, about 100 down still. I think because of the, might have been some plates and some waves. I think is all it really was. Ooh. Neotank is like, bro, that's annoying as all heck. We are going to see Seeker get burned a little bit. Neotank just watching as junglers roam up to the top side as Veer's actually taking quite low. Ravensman can actually 1v1 this if you try. No tag on the W, but you jump forward. You have red buff. It's just a free kill. Ravensman takes that one away. Now inside of that Herald, we're going to see a little bit of a different fight. Conjure Raven has to flash away. You're over the wall. Equalizer burning on 3, but Seeker is going to get a multi-stun off. If you're able to get a little more, that's great, but no needlework to follow up behind. Now the Chaos Storm is going to stun up, but there's no way back out. Seeker drawn into the fight, and you overstep. That is the punishment that Neotank can met out. And that's 2 kills across the map for the side of Cal Farmers. Now, can they get more? No, they can't. They step up. That's going to be a good devour, but how much more can you get? Another stasis shield is going to keep them alive as the scissors snip. But Batman is only able to get retribution, and now I don't think it's going to be much more because the tongue does work. Conjured Raven's signature pick grabs the kill for themselves. Not just that, Ravensman nowhere close because you solo out your lane opponent, has taken the bot lane tower and has now extended themselves to a fantastic lead. 150 gold bounty, you're 2-1-0, 15 CS up. It feels like there's nothing in your way. Cal Farmers starting off this early to mid game fairly strong. And we're going to see if they can continue onwards. Seeker, of course, taking a little bit of punishment there. Nothing crazy so far. Really, this next engagement will be very, very precious. I mean, Dragon is up in a minute 40. That is Herald up to fight for as well. And now we got to pause. I'm not exactly sure what for. But, of course, this may give a little bit of time for Infamous to breathe. Same on the other side as well. For Cal Farmers, they've accelerated the pace a little bit to match the aggressiveness of Infamous. You see Rigor Mortis trying to jump in, get these fights. I mean, you see how willing Batman is also to bring those fights in. So just matching that timing, you do have to kind of step back and go, okay, we can't over aggress too far. If we pull in the wrong person, all of a sudden things go south. As long as it's Veer or Charlie, Cal Farmers are going to be really happy. For Infamous, they need to be taking this time to sit back and go, okay, what needs to be done? How do we get back in this game? Well, here's the deal. If we keep track of Neotank, that's their main engage. Not only that, we need to stop overextending. A lot of these fights were still looking to contest with what? 50% HP, 60% HP. You can't really let that happen. You need to be more than understanding and willing to step back and say, okay, we can't overaggress. We can't let Neotank be able to free fire, because this time around, you're not looking at just like 1 or 2 of these, these kills going in the pocket of a support. Ravensman is now starting to look strong. Chaotic was able to pick up 2 kills overall, thanks to a lot of help in the mid lane. Jungle is starting to look a little bit better, 1-1-4, and has been able to out-farm Rigor Mortis on this Lee Sin. And topside, this is the big change. Conjured Raven is now in a much more comfortable spot on this Tahm Kench, a champion that he has played multiple times. You look much cleaner in this scenario, which not only provides a bit of safety with the Devourer, but good dueling potential if Batman misses a lot of those needleworks. That is the main trade-off. So for the side of Infamous, you're sitting there going, okay, what do I need to do? I need to not play silly. I need to not let myself get caught, and I need to ensure that I'm taking smart fights instead of bold fights. For Cal Farmers, you're just looking to farm. You're looking to scale. Let Ravensman get stronger. You are 2-1-0. Once you finish the man immune, that's going to be even better. And then all of a sudden, your mystic shots hit like a truck. These little things are everything they should be keeping in mind as the next dragon is now coming up. 45 seconds on that one. Both top laners, no, only one top laner is actually going to have their TP up and ready. So Conjured Raven will be more than willing to actually join in the fight. Mostly because you don't even have to worry about the top lane anymore. If that tower goes down, not the worst thing in the world. You're about 2k up, 2.5k up. That's more than okay to work with. You can give up topside to get a larger team fight advantage around this dragon if you so wish. The current moment though, Rigor Mortis looking for a chance to try and help out as Quintic actually realizes they're stuck there. First strike is going to give a little extra gold back over, but this is the big challenge. Seeker and Rigor Mortis need to be a little bit careful. They can't walk straight in. I like that call. As I mentioned, you need to be a lot more careful. If you don't see where Neotank is, you can only assume he's in the bushes. And if he's in the bushes, you're pretty much in danger. That's going to be one. A little bit of a trap set down by Veer. Going to try and run interference. Dragon is now started up, but keep in mind, everyone is now here. This is going to be a bold fight. Chaotic on the other side is going to try and lay down the safe still, but the fight is going to look a little bit weird. Equalizer is going to cut off Rigor Mortis, but the team fight on the other side is going to be a lot different. Quintic is actually out. Huge ultimate coming up, but the current call is cut short. The kick out of the pit that was Chaotic is denied, and this is actually going to leave Conjured Raven all the way to the back line, but you got the kill, and then you got the great help. You get a double kill. Dragon is going to be stolen away. You go ahead and win everything, and Cow Farmers farm the living crap out of Infamous. They are going to fall, but Batman says no. Batman is actually turning around. No way. Of course, you're only one man, but Charlie is also alive. That sheer hands on this team is wild. Charlie is going to flash away. You're going to run for your life. Chaotic has flash as well. Do it to him. Flash on him as hard as possible. Get that kill. Chaotic, though, doesn't want to lose that summoner spell. It is a 4-for-4 catastrophe for Infamous as you lose your teammates, but also lose the dragon. Quite honestly, that fight would have gone differently if Conjured Raven was not in a stable spot to fight. Took on two, and both top laners, screw whatever I said, both top laners being highlights for their teams right there. I mean, Batman securing two, ensuring that at least you get the kills and it's not an unequal trade, and the gold lead doesn't expand further. And Conjured Raven annihilating Veer in the back line. Beautiful stuff there. Really, really well done. This game is still on a, I would say, a blunt, nice edge for Infamous, and for Cow Farmers, they're chilling. That's a hook though, and there's no way out. You're kind of stuck. Seeker goes in. I'm not even sure that was worth it. I'm just not sure that was it. I don't know why you're trying to save a Kog'Maw who, I mean, you know Kog'Maws. And honestly, this Blitzcrank pick, I said it was one that I really wanted to watch for, and I was scared. I mean, Neotink is putting in work right now. 2, 2, and 11. 13 participating out of 14. And this is a 20-minute Baron. Cow Farmers looking to put themselves in a prime spot to push for a game number 3. And again, I gotta say, going back to the draft, there was a bit of disrespect being thrown down. The Kog'Maw somewhat blind picked. The ADC, the Jhin, picked up blind, denied a major fight. Batman, of course, knowing that you're up against a Tahm Kench, but this time being matched by the Tahm Kench. So many little differences coming out right now that, I mean, there's still a way back in. If you're taking a look, Infamous still have Rigor Mortis. If you get a Insect off, then boom, you're right back in the game if you catch Chaotic or Ravens, man. But they have so much getaway. The entire squad has so much getaway. I honestly don't foresee it happening. Rigor Mortis's value, that most value tied to the Lee Sin pick, is swayed. At this point, it is all on Rigor Mortis. How well can you hands check the opponent? Can you hands check them? Is going to be the big question. With this Baron buff, tower in the mid goes down. You're now 2 towers up, and almost look for another, as Ravens man is going to eat a little bit of damage, not too much really. So right now it's just, I mean, I'm sitting here kind of questioning, how are Infamous really going to force this back? Because at this point it has to be a mistake. It has to be a mistake from Cow Farmers. They have to be the ones to step up and go the wrong direction. I mean, Neotink is just like, yo, I don't have to step up in the wrong direction. I just go the way that I want to. That's gonna be a knock-up even. In goes the Curtain Call and True Shot Barrage. The True Shot Barrage does way more. Curtain Call doesn't do any damage to full health targets. However, Charlie's able to fire back and take a look. Needlework slashes across 3, and now you get to chase. However, the walls are a little bit too far, and you stand in the Stasis Shield. Vio gets hooked right back in. It's a triple kill for Ravens, man, as you are strong. 7, 2, and 2. And this will pretty much secure this tower unless we see Ravens man go down. That was a couple nice living artilleries. Flash forward, Charlie isn't gonna be surprised by that one. You're gonna be surprised by a little bit of a WQ coming out of the Ezreal. Tower will fall at the end of the day though. Chase forward, flash in as well, but a good knock up to deny. A Seeker will get nothing. Neotink is my MVP right now. I mean, this is a wild, wild turnaround. I said that Cal Farmers had to run the gauntlet. They had to throw something special, and the Blitzcrank B5 is doing it for him right now. It is truly enabling just about everyone in this game, enabling Ravensman to Free Fire, enabling Chaotic and Quintic to work their magic, and then Conjured Raven getting those knockouts, being that bulky member. Heartsteel at 241. This is beautiful to be seen. At this point, Rigor Mortis, I don't know if you can step up. Like, there's no real option. You're sitting on only an item and a half. I don't think you're going to be able to do this. Yeah, Blast Cone is taken away. You have to give this one up, and it sucks because it's a sole point. And it's Ocean of all things. I don't know who's going to be dropping that tax, that 800 gold tax, but you're going to have to. That's going to be a little bit of catch. So Batman is trying to look for that kill, and there's the curtain call. But remember, it doesn't really have that much damage behind it. I mean, you're chilling. Equalizer actually answer back. And that's gonna be jump forward. Rigor Mortis is looking, but you don't get the kick off because the Devour. Really, really nice job. And they're gonna try and fight, but I don't know how much you're getting. Chaotic is in a rampage. Shoots up across four. Lots of damage. That's a double knockup. Conjured Raven conjures up a dub, as that's enough to force Batman, Seeker, and Charlie away from the battle. It is destruction across the rift as Cal Farmers say it's time for the market. Go ahead, lead them to water. They are sold for gold. 21-11, 24 and a half minutes. Cal Farmers have all but secured this game. Cal Farmers making a bank right now, throwing it down with the best of them. They get the inhibitor. And honestly, taking the safe route, I don't disagree. You could have rotated in the top, broken open a little bit more of the base, but mid inhibitor, beautiful job. Massive gold swing. You now have an inevitable team fight that you are going to force Infamous into around that dragon in 3.5 minutes. However, if you ended at Baron in a minute, then it's going to be even better. These timers are working out perfectly, and I have to give props to Conjured Raven, number one, being a bully on the top side, matching and overpowering the Gwen. Neotank on the bot side, game one of the shining stars on that Leona. This game as well, nasty hooks, 2, 2, and 17. Only 4 kills they have not participated in. And finally, Chaotic to get back in this game and now look for a little bit extra to the team, giving them kills. They are now able to output so much extra damage where Batman is just barely alive. Two-shot barrage is going to land, a Raven with the snipe in time for this Baron. They hurt. And that's gonna be a dive. Do it to him. Oh, hit him hard. Raven is like, yo, what's up, buddy? That's gonna be another curtain call. I don't know if this is what you want to do. Conjured Raven is just running train right now, just saying, yo, this is my show. I will body block everything. I'll body block the curtain call. I'll body block your damage. It doesn't matter. As over the wall you go. That's gonna be the blast cone used as Quintic goes ahead and joins in. This is a Hail Mary steal, by the way. This is going to be disastrous if it goes wrong. At the same time, it can go very, very right for Infamous if they do it right. Right now, though, Conjured Raven barely eating any damage. Yeah, they got nothing. There's no way they can get close. This is going to be Baron for the side of Cal Farmers. Flannel Esports, Cal Farmers saying, yo, weave it well as you are looking down the barrel of a game 3. And Infamous, you've got to go back to the drawing board. That Jhin has not had a good time. Charlie in the mid lane, 4-4-4. Not a bad scoreline, but considering the previous game, feels a bit lackluster. And Rigor Mortis, game 2, I was hoping for a little bit of a difference in terms of how messy it got in the bot lane. It feels like it hasn't changed. You're 1-6-5 on an early game champion. It hurts to see. And honestly, 3 of those I don't put into his own pocket. After a while, Lee Sin just, it becomes even more difficult to play. But the first deaths, I mean, those were Those were a bit of an overextension. At this point, it's damage control. Can Infamous hold out here? Honestly, they have been able to burn down targets if Charlie is allowed to kind of free fire with this living artillery, but you're too busy kind of clearing out that wave to lay down actual damage, and really it's doing peanuts. Take a look at that. Raven's man is still doing just fine. You're like, yeah, this is fine. I don't know what's going on here. This is easy work for me. They're just gonna play safe here. Nice little poke once again, though. Recall coming out for Batman. There's a ward behind that you can get to if you want to look for a TP flank. However, I don't think you're gonna have that option. A little bit of a slow. Quintic is gonna watch as the curtain call opens up. Another little bit of free fire as Equalizer comes down to stop that ultimate. So ultimate for ultimate trade. And honestly, it's just a slow siege. There's the inhibitor. It is finally taken away. Now you can put your power into this dragon. If this is Soul, it is over. It is going to be over. It is going to be the end of this battle. The war is still not over. The battle hurts to lose. There it is. 4 dragons to 1. Cow Farmers throwing down with the best of them now have one of the greatest dragons to have for a Tom Kench, for a Blitzcrank that has Warmogs, for Quintic who wants to be in the middle burning everyone down, for Chaotic and Ravensman to stay alive. I quite honestly do not know how Infamous are going to come back, because even if you get a kick on a primary target like Chaotic and Ravensman, I don't see them dying. You have a Bloodthirster on Ravensman. Chaotic has a Zanyas. Quintic has a Zanyas. You are not killing anyone fast. Pain is all that is left at the end of this game. And honestly, I just want to see Cow Farmers close it out well. The last sputtering artillery fires from this mid lane Kog'Maw. I mean, the early fights, granted, Charlie was all in control, but the side lanes got out of control. There's gonna be that chance. Of course, right now, it does seem like it's a little bit hard on the siege. This is all right. There we go. The wave is finally in. Raven's man getting poked out, but Conjured Raven goes ahead and takes that inhibitor out. Wave is cleared once again, but again, there's nothing else to fight for. That's gonna be the kick, and you find it, but Chaotic gets the Zanyas off, and that's gonna be a little bit of a catch. Conjured Raven now entering into the fight. Needlework does nothing as you won't burn. Chaotic is godlike. Loki's in the house. Chaos is their name. And the game is 2v1. Straight through the mid lane they go. They have a full wave. They have the regen. They have the power. Curtain call being used to try and clear that wave if they can. It looks like they actually got it. So a little bit of a misclick maybe, I'm not too sure, but this is going to be the game. A little bit of a hold. Seeker goes in the middle, burning ever so quickly to the flamethrower, and you are going to be out. Conjured Raven running interference. No kills actually come through just yet, as Charlie really doesn't have much of the tank. You're going to try and stay safe here as you're spat back out. They are going to lose Conjured Raven, so Conjured Raven is gone. Guys, Cow Farmers, get the tower. That was a win. Why did you die? There it is. Kill one more. Tower goes down. No way they don't end here. Thank you. Ravensman is godlike. They are just farming kills. It's okay. I misread a lot of that. It's gonna be GG. They go ahead and close it out here as we are looking at a game 3. Cow Farmers make this a series. And honestly, it's a little bit of everything. Infamous getting a little bit cocky with their picks, I think. Kog'Maw, little bit of a rough pick. Pulling that blind, getting range picked by the Victor, but Victor coming back with a vengeance. That was probably a bad one to pick on because Charlie had 39,000 damage, so my bad on that one. Bot lane, I mean, that Blitzcrank, freaking brilliant by Neotank. I mean, you see immobiles and you see an early Lee Sin, you can bully the heck out of it. I don't think Infamous are going to run that same comp. At the same time, we can wait and see if they're going to run Fresh on the blue side, if they're going to stay with the red side. So many options are available. Batman, though, on the top lane, I think still looking pretty dang good on that Gwen. However, the Tom Kench needs to be banned out early if you're going to do it. So for right now, we are going to go to a short break before the finale of the Aegis Defenders League matchup this week, mid-season right now, week 3, before there are only 2 more series throughout the rest of the regular season. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back. Game number 3, the finale, the end, the final battle between these two squads. Infamous, no longer unbeatable, have now dropped a game to the side of the Flannel Esports Cow Farmers, a squad that is hoping for a series win. In the current time, though, the teams are more than ready to go as they are already into draft, with the same 3 bans being thrown down by Cow Farmers from game number 2. But there's the change up that we expected. The Tom Kench in the top side is banned away, and I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to see that Gwen once again. Right now, though, Cow Farmers, they looked exceptional. As much as the Tom Kench was an issue, Neotank on that Blitzcrank, if Infamous wished to run such an immobile composition, they are going to be punished for it. It was not banned away this time, though. Tristana is picked up. I love this call. Chaotic so far has been bullied relentlessly in the early game. This is a great way to get him out of hopefully harm's way, but of course it can still happen once again. Infamous, though, hovering over this Ezreal that was used to pretty good efficiency by Raven's Man in the bottom lane. But this is going to be the call down. Hey, I can still bully out early and might have some problems later on, but I mean, Charlie, I think, did a really good job for as much as I was poking fun at the Kog'Maw, because keep in mind, I don't like the immobility with no hard CC behind it. Whenever I see an immobile mage, I like seeing the hard CC behind it or a fear. Slow's not going to be enough most of the time. There's going to be that hover, and the Ezreal is locked in. There is no safety. If you wish to drop back to the Xayah, it would be understandable if Raven's Man want to do that. However, when an Ezreal is locked in, I feel like you want to go a little bit more pressure in the forefront. So we'll see if anything is collected. With the Ezreal, that also cuts down on the opportunity of a Blitzcrank, which I don't think you'd pick here. I think jungle should be picked up. We haven't. The Rumble was picked up 2 or 3 times, 2 games so far. If you wish to opt back into it, I'm hit or miss on it. But with the Ornn lock in, it would make a little bit more sense. Now you have that hard CC in the top lane. Wakes makes. Okay, I'm done trying that. Makes way more sense in the fact that you now have a hard CC, you have a guaranteed team fight ultimate, much better time. And not only that, Ornn does fairly okay into a Gwen just as well. 5 seconds left on the timer, and we are going to see a Sejuani. Okay, way heavier turnaround. This is a shift that I actually really like. Cow Farmers are going for that heavy engage, that really beefy, we catch you, you die. Now here's the downside. Gwen has obviously kind of come out. We knew that was going to happen. Here's the thing. Infamous need to understand and pinch that ADC. I want to see a strong ADC ban come out here, because yes, the Blitzcrank is good. I just didn't foresee it coming out here in this scenario. Again, whenever an Ezreal's there, I just don't think a Blitzcrank would actually do anything. So the only reason I think the Blitzcrank was picked before is because we saw the Kog'Maw and the Jhin at the same time. But respect either way. You don't want to give Neotank that one. I think the Ezreal was a great response, though. There's the Taric ban. I like that call, because if you allow the Taric to follow behind the Ornn and Sejuani, such an easy Cosmic Radiance that it's just going to be a problem. That is now going to be triple support bans. If we get a 4th one here, I would like to see that safety factor. If you're thinking maybe a Thresh behind. I think Seeker has a few others in the back pocket, and Noah's actually going to be into that jungle role if that Viego is banned away. I think I understand this one as well, just because of the tankiness factor. If you accidentally give over a reset to for Tristana, that can be dangerous. That's going to be a Leona lock-in though. Engage tools right back. Pretty solid pickup here, denying that tool away from cow farmers as well. Pretty popular here. What they're also doing, Infamous's side, is they're saying, okay, here's the deal. Rigor Mortis game 1, exceptional game. Still a lot of rough parts in the early game. Game 2, that was exemplified. The Lee Sin did not have a good game, and I don't see it being brought out here as well. You have to be worried because now you have to find some sort of damage control damage source to break through a triple tank composition here, which again I'm very much enjoying. Cow farmers have basically flipped the script from games 1 and 2. This is an all-out war of attrition in terms of who can last longer, and I mean I'm expecting a triple warmog to come out, and then you back it up with an Acel. Holy freaking crap. Cow farmers are going all in on this mid to late. That is a Tristana bottom lane, or is that an Acel bottom lane? Now I gotta go double check. I think that is a Raven Man special right now. Is this a Raven Man special, or is that a Tristana? That might be a Tristana bottom lane with an Acel headed to the mid. I mean, honestly, it can be flipped either way, I think. But, I mean, that is a wild statement pick. I don't see Acel on either. Okay. That was not on my prep notes, but I think it's a wild pick up. The Vi at the very end. It's still a little bit early to mid-game tempered, and honestly, diving into the back line, you better pray that Leona's there. In terms of drafting, I gotta give cow farmers a massive freaking pat on the back. I love what they've done with the draft. Previously, I was scared. They didn't have much engage in game number 1. Game number 2, it was kind of there. They had some abilities. I mean, the Tomkins was ready to go. And I know they had Malphite in game number 1, but the Malphite never got off the ground. Let's be honest. It was a stone that was being gently rolled at the opponent, and it never worked. Game 2 came alive thanks to some prime mistakes, and Neotank was able to take over. You have now built an optimized proactive team composition. If cow farmers are not willing to engage with this composition, I will be wildly surprised. For Infamous, if I do not see a cleanse out of both Ezreal and Kog'Maw, I will be highly surprised, because you are not surviving if you do not have cleanse. If you do not take cleanse, that is the most disrespectful type of gameplay that I will have seen. Which, granted, disrespect might be the necessary name of the game here if you're willing to outskill your opponent. Charlie played exceptionally well in the early game for both games. Game number 2 is exemplified. Here's the deal, though. That's when you're left in a 1v1 situation. Charlie wins if left alone. I don't foresee the mid lane this game being left alone at any point outside of level 3. Top lane, Gwen. We know what a Gwen can do. However, up against an Ornn, you are going to be optimized against fairly quickly. Everywhere else, it's just little pieces of the puzzle. Like cow farmers, it is a stacked roster. If they manage to go at least even through the mid game, I don't foresee a strong setup for Infamous to break through. We know Kog'Maw's going to go AP, which drastically drops off damage output in a constant fight. You need mana and you need to hit your skill shots. Those two things are very difficult to land when the opponent's aiming straight at your face. Ezreal, not exactly an amazing tank shredder. Gwen is really your only option, which Batman, putting a lot of your eggs in the shred basket in Batman is going to be a difficult task. At the end of the day, my eyes are still drawn to Rigor Mortis. Rigor Mortis in game 2 had opportunities to be that big playmaker on that Lee Sin, was not allowed to do so. This time around picks a little bit more guaranteed CC, but you need to pick your times, because post level 6, if you have not put anyone down, you are going to be prime pickings, or you won't have any opportunities to gank. You will be effectively put on the back burner and told you are not allowed to ult unless an opponent is in a dangerous spot. So at the current moment, I think cow farmers have won out on the draft in an overwhelming fashion. This is as team fight composition-y as you can get. Infamous need to play well in the laning and in the mid game. That is their whole point. If they go to late, I do not foresee them winning. I do not see them being able to overcome cow farmers. I love what's going on both sides. Lot of requirements and a lot of conditions set on either side. Let me know if you guys agree, because quite honestly, I'm set in my ways. I could be completely wrong. I could be horrendously wrong even, which is fair. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead, lay down your predictions. Let us know what you think here at the Aegis Defenders League, because this is the finale. This is act number 3 of the 3-part theater performance. I hope you're enjoying it. I am as well. Let's go ahead, close the curtain for a short period to let the actors get ready for the stage. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are live, everyone. I am simultaneously excited and flabbergasted. We have, I mentioned disrespect earlier, and disrespect is a lot of things. One of those is, all right, I'm just gonna say, not a single cleanse on the side.
Minions have spawned.
Test one, test two. I believe I'm back. Hey, there we go. Okay, so my mic decided not to work for like a good hot second, and I may or may not have freaked out a little bit. But we are good. We are here. We are here and ready to go because, my lord, this is going to be an interesting match. So, as I was saying, my disbelief basically caused me to crash that there is no cleanse on the side of Charlie and Veer, and this means that they are going pretty much full-on disrespectful because they're basically saying they don't need it. Granted, if they don't need it, that's great, but post 25 minutes, I mean, if I don't see a QSS tax come out, I'm not excited for what goes down. So you know what, Infamous, prove me wrong. I want you to prove me wrong and basically say you didn't need cleanse, that you will win this 100% here in the early game. If you do, that is amazing. At this current moment, though, we are seeing a little bit of bullying as we are going to get the arcane shift out here. Gonna say safe, but a nice low blast as Raven's a man is able to hop right back out and over the wall, and Seeker is down to about 300 HP. A little bit of challenges here and there as a Batman is also getting chunked out here. And the main path, of course, is for the jungler. Rigor Mortis is slowly clearing. Is I believe about, I want to say half a beat behind. Not too bad. I mean, I think Quintic had a pretty nice clear themselves. So, you know, smoothly pacing. Yep, so that's about, I want to say 5-10 seconds ahead. Yep, pretty dang good right there for either side. Mid lane, though, Chaotic once again not playing for the early game. Aurelion Sol is not known for early game aggression, so just playing it smart. However, this is the bottom side. They can get a little bit messy. Remember, all 3 games so far, Rigor Mortis has been in a really rough spot, but this is going to be the turnaround. That's a flash out. Seeker is going to be safe, but the jump forward, that's going to be killed first blood. Neotech is going to try and run away, and they are going to be safe. Veer is going to get jumped on here as Quintic has to run away as well. So the turnaround is actually going to be there, but Ravensman is actually going to be quite tanky. You get the abilities back up, and Ravensman is very, very healthy. Barrier is going to be enough, though, so Veer is going to win out. You have more than enough mana. It's a double kill for Veer, and this time Rigor Mortis comes in to help out. Well played by both sides. Honestly, both angles are so interesting because that fight, Seeker saw it, knew Rigor Mortis was going to be around the edge, but Quintic actually made that very, very spicy. And keep in mind, first blood, I believe, went down to Neotank. So gold itself not landing in Ravensman's hands, but still a 2-for-3 value, and at such a close meter as well. Veer, you know what, maybe I was wrong, you don't need the cleanse. The barrier actually saved your life. Huge dubs there, which granted, barrier now is like the go-to ability or summoner spell on pretty much ADCs. Still though, these little pieces of the puzzle are going to be very, very fun to watch because that's one fight. And remember, Ravensman was able to get quite a few jumps off. If you're able to continue doing that, it's going to be such a nice bonus later on once you have the ability to outrange the Ezreal and the like. Top side, of course, 100 Raven doing their best to just try to hold down Batman. in that top lane. Just ensure that you don't have to go too crazy. You know, just kind of waiting for the rest of the team to get into position. So it is going to be wave push under tower in the bot side. Good little demolish proc for Conjured Raven. And Dragon is now up. This is going to be an Ocean Dragon, so a really, really nice dragon to have early on. At the early start of the game, having that extra 2% on the HP regen feels great in these elongated trades, depending on who picks it up. Historically, I want to say both. No, I believe even in games 1 and 2, it was always Rigor Mortis that was there. It just came at different times. So, you know, give it a little bit of time to see what to go for. Both junglers once again had path from top to bot. And now Quintic is actually here earlier. So Ravens Man gonna try and play a little bit. There is no ward. Neotank is gonna try and step up. Yet a little bit cheeky. No warning vision is there, but Rigor Mortis also here in the same value. But I mean, if you catch them a little bit off guard, that can be the chance. They are going to step up. Let me a jump. Ravens Man realizes they're in a little bit of a rough spot, but you go ahead and buffer out the jump, and you're more than okay. However, the damage is still done, as once again, it is going to be Veer and Seeker getting the better of these trades. Re-engagement was on the table. However, the ward is going to spot out Quintic, trailing after Rigor Mortis. I mean, you know they're not going mid because Chaotic is forced away from the tower. Another 20 CS deficit here. The junglers are now meeting, though. Keep in mind, this is a giant game of cat and mouse, depending on who's the cat and who's the mouse. Every single time, it feels like Quintic is just getting a beat behind after that early engage. I mean, that bot side was great, but it was Rigor Mortis that was the first one to really engage in that fight. There's just so many little pieces that are so questionable and so interesting to kind of watch. As that's gonna be a level 6 hit. I didn't even see that. Veer says, yo, that's mine. That was a level 6 hit off of that last minion to provide that kill. That is massive, as now Charlie is going to run away. That goes once again with a beautiful repositioning, and Quintic is like, do I actually chase for it? You don't have ult, so there's no chance of it. In the meantime, that is going to be the grubs taken away. So Rigor Mortis not only getting a chance to look at the bot lane, but getting all the grubs in their favor. Giving themselves really heavy push by Veer. Veer now 3-0-1, the massive recipient in the earlier engagement, going to try and steamroll this into a nasty lead. And it's going to make me eat my words. I am a huge fan at safeguards and defensive cards, and the card in my mind is that cleanse. If Veer doesn't need it, that's great. You never need to use that ability ever again, and you don't need to pay the QSS tax. That also means you better outright win the rest of the lane. You should never be caught by a depth charge, and you should never really, or you should always have flash up at crucial moments. This time though, you have barrier available. Ravens Man is going to be right there. That's gonna be a jump forward, and that's gonna be the kill. Not a moment to burn though, as that's gonna be a good shutdown to Ravens Man's hands. And remember, that's how you bully him. This Ezreal was picked up after the Tristana, and we're starting to see the Tristana bite back with the Nautilus. With that being said, even with that kill in spirit only, plates could be taken, but that's a huge knockup on the top side. As I'm just watching, Batman might be able to get something. Needlework isn't really going to land too much. Two-shot barrage on the bot side as the two-prong fight is happening. Ravens Man is able to stay safe top side though. Conjured Raven, I don't think can stay here. Batman is going to eat so much more damage. And you're playing on a nice edge here. You're hoping for a little extra proc with that Inferno's Bellow. But Rigor Mortis is now looking for that dragon, and there's just all these very short HP fights are making me very, very scared. First dragon though will go down to the side of Infamous, and they're going to collect their just rewards, keeping their gold lead at about 1,000. That's going to provide, you know, maybe an extra 400 or 500 gold each to the players. You know, the extra regen, or well, that's a reju bead, so it's like 300 or so. No, I think it's, yeah, it's 350 now. So, you know, a little extra in their back pocket. Interestingly enough, Conjured Raven still able to maintain within a wave and a half. Massive improvement from getting number 1 out of that Malphite. So once again, into that mid game is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And again, I want to see Rigor Mortis continue to show a little bit of aggression. Quintic Quintic lives in this bottom lane, by the way. Quintic lives in this bottom lane and just says, yo, this is mine. I'm going to ward out. Keep in mind that vision line is huge, but it's a little bit too far out. For the side of Infamous, you weren't able to catch the likes of this Sejuani just kind of roaming in straight away, and now you're going to see the rest of the team also make the same moves. There's going to be Ravens man realizing that this is going to get spotted, and I think Veer is able to clear out the pink board, so you're safe. You're still blind, keep that in mind. Oh, that's a jump over the wall too, as I do believe Rigor Mortis is going to get jumped on in a little bit. The pings were going down, but they deny that factor, and Quintic is like, okay, I don't want to deal with this. If we get pinched, it's going to be a bad time, so we have to back away. The posturing is making me extremely anxious right now. And Conjure Raven as well, just saying, yo, I got the Rukern already built, so I'm going to have a lot at MR against Batman, who is still waiting to complete theirs. Needlework is out now. Raven might be able to turn this around, but the final shot of the needlework is more than enough to deter them. Ravens, though, realizing that you're in a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure you're going to get that. Buster shot back, but the barrier is more than enough to overcome it. And Veers is swinging those early kills around like a sack of potatoes. Ravens man actually had that Kraken Slayer as well, but when you aren't able to get the auto attacks down in a favorable trade, it's just kind of null and void. Quintic ready to hide inside of the bush, is going to throw down a little bit of that flail, but you have to get away into safety. Chaotic is in no position to try and help, and because of that, the squad is here for the upcoming grubs. If all 6 grubs can be taken, that'll be the first time, I believe, in this series that all 6 were taken by one team. I lied, it was actually taken in game 2 as well, but I don't think it was used peak efficiency. We're just going to sit here and wait. This is already a great start for the side of Infamous. They need to keep this rolling, though. They need to keep this moving in their favor. They want to maintain this edge. Keep in mind, late game is not theirs unless you count Veer, who, in my opinion, is only the real late game carry outside of Batman, who, the only reason I say that is I think Batman might actually be tempered by Conjured Raven. In that top side, that's gonna be the catch though. Huge flashes forward in the mid lane. Charlie is gonna get CC'd down, and you actually drew the likes of Rigor Mortis straight into it this time. The death is not your fault. I can't blame you right now. And that's Charlie to get locked down as well. A final Q should do it, and Quintic picks up 400. Chaotic was almost given that kill, but at that point, you just take it and run. Beautiful play in the mid lane to keep the likes of Cow Farmers in this series. At this point, this is going to be a difficult one. A little bit of a question mark, though, as Conjure Raven was like, all right, I'm out of mana. I'm chilling. No worries, no worries. Gonna hide under tower, recall, go ahead and TP back. You're in more than a position because Dragon is up in a minute, or actually, I guess you don't want to TP. Never mind, you do. Yeah, no worries. You say, okay, we're not really going to try and secure this Dragon. It is Infernal. Maybe Quintic can get a little bit of power over it. And I mean, you do have the bot lane really heavily forced there. So you know you're going to have that power. But take a look at that ward behind it. I just want to point that out. There is a ward behind to notice that Neotank is actually alone. And that's a huge overstep. Neotank thought he was safe and just gets caught. Pain and no gain. This now leaves a Ravens man high and dry in the current scenario. Dragon should be coming up here shortly, and that's going to be way in favor of Infamous. Oh man, but of all the lanes to have go awry, it is that bot lane. Veer in game number 1 on the Varus was looking mighty strong. Was able to kite pretty well, but Charlie stole that show. This time around is looking like the main carry, 5-1-1. Remember, Ezreal's build path is not that expensive. You can get around a pretty cheap build. You already have the Triforce. You're going to build into that Manamune next, and you'll be more than happy to kind of carry that one forward. Keep forgetting it. Manamune into the Miramana. Yes, that is correct. Someone can correct me, I'm sure. See how it works though, because Quintic is going to grab the Herald of their own, which I actually might be contested. Chaotic is actually going to run straight into the bush and realize this is a bad spot to be in. It's gonna be a big pickup though. Quintic running for their life. Solar Flare is dodged out. Quintic has no flash. You gotta run for your life, but everyone's gliding in. This is the power of the squad. They know they can't win in a 5v5, so you collapse 4v1. What a turn. Chaotic realizing you're also got has to roll their way out, flying over the walls, and you are safe. However, you have lost control over your own side jungle. Thankfully, a glimmer in this dark time. Ravens, man, getting quite strong, able to take the bot side tower, can free fire if given the opportunity. Of course, this is going to be that problem. 100 Raven also being able to manage pretty well, just kind of tanking up, and the rest of the team just needs to kind of sustain. 3k gold lead is nothing to laugh at. Still, it's not overwhelming just yet. You can overcome that pretty well with ornaments if Conjured Raven is allowed to free farm up to that level 15, 16. I'm just waiting. I want to see Rigor Mortis still have a major influence once again. I want to see them push even further. I want to see them really kick things into high gear. And where else are they going to go, right? Because Seeker has been one to really step forward in games 1 and 2, and then Neotech had the exact same. But this is also the scary part. Remember, there is a timer, and I will say this as many times as I have to. There's a timer on this side of Infamous. They have till about, at this point, it was 25. Now I'd say it's closer to 30 to 32. Gonna take a little bit more time to go ahead and scale up and really get to that position of overwhelming strength, but it is going to be there. This is going to help accelerate it. Herald used to bust down the mid lane tower, branch out, and now you can unleash Chaotic even more so. And it's going to force Rigor Mortis to take a slightly safer path. Ravens, man, and Neotank, though, these two not having the best time. 2, 5, and 6 combined between the two of them versus the 6, 2, and 5 position of Veer and Seeker. This barrier has played so well into the rest of the game. Now it just has to work in the mid to late. Remember, this is where things get tricky. When Quintic, Chaotic, Neotank, and Conjure Raven are all allowed to hard CC chain you, things are gonna go sideways. As everyone takes a breather. Nothing too crazy occurring as Quintic and Neotank are trying to set up for a top lane. Everyone's just kind of taking stock. I mean, without cleanse, you do have to give a lot of credit over to Infamous. They are playing at a very respectful pace and a very respectful distance. That also means they can't chance as hard as they did in games 1 and 2. Before, they weren't up against this overwhelming CC, and they were more than willing to kind of step up, go into the fray. Rigor Mortis was willing to tower dive and stuff like that, so really heads up and understanding. There's a slow burn here on the top lane as Conjured Raven now losing their tower as Veer was rotated up, so very nicely done. The macro game now coming into play. Next up, most likely going to be that dragon. I mean, Baron is there, but I don't think you want to try a 20-minute Baron in this case. Instead, it's going to be that dragon fight in this one. I feel like you can fight for it. If you are cow farmers, I think you're more than capable of facing this team fight. Ravens, man, is starting to get pretty strong, has 2 items in the bucket, maybe not the 2.5 that Veer is currently sitting on. I think you can still take a fight, especially with the ornamented Canik Rukern. Conjured Raven can face tank a decent bit here. As you can see, pretty much 4 members rotating down. TP on Conjured Raven if you have the wards, which you do. And really, this is going to be that somewhat bloody brawl. Of course, with 30 seconds left, you can also power down this mid lane, which I think Infamous are going to try and do. They're going to clear the way pretty dang quickly and look to try and shuffle their way into the bot side river. Or do they look to just keep playing? They can also do that too, because I mean, do you really need this dragon? I don't think you really have to have a Chaotic, of course. Looking for chances. It's gonna be 5 over there. That's gonna be a stun over the wall, but that's on a Leona. Now a 4-man stun, as that's a huge ultimate from the side of Chaotic, but you get bullied right out. Now a chance fire as everyone is splitting up, and this is Infamous looking for the assassinations, and it looks like they got most of them. However, that sticky bomb is gonna reset Ravens, man, and you can see Conjured Raven is just keeping one at arm's bay. Batman, though, more than powerful enough to keep the tanks away, allowing Veer to slaughter the backline. I said they needed cleanse, and they do not. When the CC lands on a tank, your tank's done the job. 2 for 4. Conjured Raven, the only one alive on Cal Farmers. Infamous win the mid lane battle in style. Listen, the hands diff is coming out right now. And honestly, I don't dislike the attempt. Quintic saw an opportunity, thought you were catching someone in the back line, and it just didn't work. At this point, I don't want them to be deterred. That was a good call. Go for the fight. Make it happen. And if you catch Veer or Charlie in any of these instances, you will be able to, I think, win a fight. Batman, of course, in a stronger position as well, is a whole other side of it. But we'll see how that plays out. Neotank, though, ready to put their life on the line. Does that to jump forward? No! Ravens, man, ults into the fight. Disaster for Cal Farmers as desperation struck. I don't think that was necessary. And all of a sudden, you lose multiple lives. There was a chance. There was a chance for Cal Farmers to come back. They had a chance to fight, and yet they threw it away. Infamous say thanks for the dub, and they'll storm the bot lane towers. We thank Titan Esports for coming in as the Titans of Infamous rise back up. They have the mark of shame of 1 game loss. But that team fight pretty much sealed the deal. They're on Soul Point. Ezreal's 9-2-3. Batman on Gwen is 2-0-4. At this point, Cal Farmers need to farm for the next 10 minutes and change if they want a chance to team fight once again. Honestly, that was, I think, of a mental boom by Cal Farmers. That dive trying to save Neotank, and Ravens, man, literally hopping into enemy territory. You knew 3 were there. Just over the top. No reason for it. Difficult times. I'm just, at this point, the world's an oyster. For Infamous, you can do whatever you want. You can go for Baron, you can go for towers, you can go for inhibitors, you can go for kills. You have all the freedom in the world. Of course, that freedom also comes with the fact that the conductor is now going to be chopped up. Conjured Raven get a double knockup, but who's really there? You flash away. That's going to be a nice CC chain, but the damage is more than enough. Rest of the team coming in here from the side of Cal Farmers, but you lost one of your main DPS and tanks because Orin can do everything except survive. Same with your team as the slice and dice comes out. Renekton ain't here, but the scissors can sip just as well. Vi with the belly bump. Easy does it. The fist will do all the work. And Rigor Mortis solidifies enough as Veer dives the tower. It's an ace at 23 minutes as Infamous look for the Baron. I will commend Infamous. I doubted them. I said they needed CC escape. I said they needed cleanse. I said they needed the tax. My one condition for them was to win the early game. You had to outhand your opponent, and specifically you needed that Ezreal. They have done it. 11, 2, and 5. 4. I thought it was going to complete another item. 3.5 items deep. Charlie at 2-1 and 7. 3 items in the run. They have overwhelmingly won the early and mid. Now you just have to close it out. And of any choice It is this dragon. This will be the final nail in the coffin. You get the mountain soul. You get the extra shield. You get the extra armor and magic resist on literally one person. By the way, it's only on Seeker who will benefit the most. The doors are quickly closing. The windows have turned into prison bars. You do not have a choice but to farm the closest camps to your base. Cow farmers, their flock has not yielded results. They're coming back from the market sad, hungry, and alone. Only a miracle can turn this around. Dragon gone in less than 20 seconds. We salute your life, Mountain Drake. You have granted the soul to Infamous for them to lock in this series. For cow farmers, you are praying. You are praying for Infamous to get cocky. You are praying for them to overstep. You are hoping that Batman decides to step into a 1v5 and think that they can take everyone. You are hoping that Veer decides to just not use flash and barrier and just hope they walk into enemy fire. Of course, one of those might come true as Batman steps up inside of the Veil. But the rest of the team is there to power down this inhibitor tower. Quintic is going to look on the side as Seeker runs interference. And Quintic is just going to eat that damage. It's gonna be a little bit of burn though, as Chaotic on this Aesol has a chance to be a real powerhouse. You have the skies descending, but as the needlework is done, and it's going to be a problem as that is the loss. Artillery is raining down on their heads. This is Infamous, famous for their macro and looking to claim their top spot. They break inhibitor 1, they break inhibitor 2. They took 2 lives, they're looking for a third. Raven's man is Raven's dead, and that's the knock up of victory. It is an ace for Infamous in game number 3, and GG as Infamous will keep their series score at 3-0. Congratulations to Infamous, and to those that predicted a 2-1, huge shout out to Cow Farmers. Their draft from games 1 to 3 are some of the most improved that I've seen. Game 1, no CC, just raw strategy, except for the Malphite, and it did not work. Game 2, you come back, you have a bit of CC, you garner a lot of success with that Ezreal in the bottom lane, and you win the game cleanly. Game 3, you had the CC, and quite honestly, it was that bot lane difference, that one auto in barrier, by the way. Great take by Veer. Very nice job. You were not able to sustain through the early to mid to get to that late game powerhouse that we know an Aesol can get to, that we know the CC chain can be, because Infamous were able to take him to town. Well done to everyone in the series. It was a fantastic series to watch. And honestly, I'm excited to see more of Infamous. I'm excited to see how much further they go. Of course, they're a squad that I personally have not seen that much of, but I'm going to be watching. Moving in, I can be assured that at this point, they have secured their place in the top 4. At this point, it is seeding priority. If they continue to win, if they go untouched in the series records, they will finish at first seed, and they will have a very nice berth to fight for those playoffs in just 3 weeks, by the way. Now, keep in mind, the Aegis leagues are continuing to run. Tomorrow, we have more league. On Thursday, we have more league. On Friday, we have more league. This is just the end of 1 of 4 shows. To everyone that did tune in, we appreciate y'all watching today's Defenders League matchup, and hopefully you'll watch some more throughout the week. Everyone, please have a fantastic evening.